Okay, welcome back to X Squared Radio. Let's get right back to it. I want to finish this up because you could see where this could go, right? Wait until the agencies, departments, bureaus, and administrations write their regulations, each having the force of law to enforce this new statute. One more question, just in case you were thinking about it. I could hear you thinking about it out there. Do you think all of the hatred toward white people will be called a hate crime? Do you think that a gang of people of color beating, raping, or killing a white person will ever be prosecuted under this law? Do you think that when hundreds of news actors and celebrities threaten to strip a white child of his college education, his career, his right to a peaceful life, or his safety in public, that they will be charged under this law? Do you think that when a white person is lynched, that any federal charge will be filed? I didn't think so. I watch for and hope that President Trump will veto this law. If he had line item veto, it could be fixed. But as it is written, it codifies civil war based on the color of people's skin. I propose any new law right here, right now, tonight, change its wording. It is simple in its wording. No law in America shall contain any reference whatsoever to the color of a person's skin. All laws, regulations, civil organizations, educational institutions, or municipal holdings shall have nothing in their rules, titles, or literature as a reference to the color of a person's skin. Inasmuch as it is possible, America's laws shall be colorblind from this day forward. Agreed? I hope so. It wasn't me that came up with this idea. It was actually my youngest son. I thought it was great. He said it all needs to go away. All of it. So, I don't want to get into this next section. I'll do it after we get done with our interview tonight with Deborah Thunderbeat. And I'm going to bring Suzanne Ross on in just a second here. By the way, interesting news. New Jersey, they do this stuff all the time. It hasn't actually happened except in one, small house of New Jersey. But the New Jersey Democrat Senate approved by a vote of 23-11 a bill this week that would exclude presidential candidates from the state's 2020 ballot unless they release their tax returns. The move appears to be aimed at keeping President Donald Trump off the New Jersey ballot because he has refused to release his tax returns because of an ongoing audit. The bill now heads to an assembly committee for approval, and then the full legislature can vote on it. It then heads to New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, a Democrat, for signing or veto. Former Governor Chris Christie blocked a similar bill that was passed by the New Jersey legislature in 2017 because he said it was a transparent political stunt, which this is. Now, by the way, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi introduced a bill for the People's Act. This will be House Resolution 1. Yeah. How long have they been there? It's been a while now, but only one resolution. It's the first one that they've done. They've been so busy chasing the freshman cats around that they haven't actually sat down to write any laws. Anyway, this would require the president and vice president to release their tax returns. Of course, it would not apply to Congress or to congressional candidates. They don't have to disclose. It will never be considered by the Senate, for sure, and it most certainly will never be signed by the president into law. Although, he might sign it into law just to make sure no Democrat ever gets elected again. I doubt there is anything in Trump's tax returns that can be used against him. Oh, by the way, this just in. I'm such a fan of Twitter and Facebook and all the great things, the memes and everything that are going on out there. It's so clever. It is just so clever. Alexandria Communist Cortez has claimed that she's now the boss when it comes to the Green Deal. So everybody now works for her. I have a special on her tonight. You don't want to miss it. It's hilarious, and every bit of it is true. It's just a complete crack up. So let's go ahead and bring Suzanne Ross on. Let's change gears a little bit. Let me see if I can work this new Skype as smoothly as I did last week. Let's see here. Here we go. We'll go to this, and we'll go to this, and we'll say add, and we'll just see what happens. If she says hello, I'm here, then we know we did it right. Suzanne, are you there?
I am here, Brooks. How are you?
That's what we call a touchdown right there. That is a full touchdown. Look at that. 2 clicks and I got it done. This new Skype, they thought it could fool us, but it didn't. So how many yards deep is the snow in Sedona right now?
Hello?
How many yards deep is the snow in Sedona?
Okay.
Well, I can hear her. I don't know if she can hear me. It was working. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything.
There we go. You know what? I tried to put my great mic on there as the video audio preference, and I lost you. So I just went back to the standard setting.
Okay.
My bad.
How deep is the snow in Sedona?
How are you?
I'm good. How deep is the snow?
Can you believe it? Holy smokes. We got like 2 feet of snow here in Sedona. Never seen anything like it. It snowed for several days.
I like the Arizona Police Department that came on today saying that there was a strange white substance all over everything. They had the crime scene tape up. They had a guy there with gloves on taking samples of it. And he was on YouTube trying to describe this strange white fluffiness that was all over Tucson, Arizona. And then he gets a phone call and the sergeant says, Sergeant, it's snow. We've never seen it around here before. So it was just hilarious. Just so funny.
That is funny. Shortly after I moved here, one morning in the winter, I walked out and the ground was all covered with white stuff. And I was like, what the heck is going on? It did. It took me a minute. I walked out and I was like, what is this? Oh, I think it's snow.
Funny. Well, I hope it melts by March 19th because we have the Beyond the Matrix Expo coming up, and we definitely don't want snow on Bell Rock when we do that.
Nah, it'll be long gone by then.
So you say that Sedona has a snow removal
it's
system.
Melted.
Sedona has a snow removal system, and it's called Spring. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. And like I was saying, it's already melted here. We're back to normal, but the snow-capped red rocks are gorgeous. Really a beautiful sight.
Oh, I'll bet it is. So tell us a little bit about our guest coming up in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm a huge fan of my friend Deborah Thunderbeat, and she was one of the first people I met when I moved to Sedona. She's also a big event producer, and she is a award-winning recording artist as well as a gifted shaman. She has had many CDs that I use the music for in the background of all of my videos. I use it as the background for my radio show. Her music is just truly remarkable. And another thing that's really fascinating about Deborah is that she has actually traveled around the world to sacred sites with her music, and she has initiated ceremony in the pyramids and temples of Egypt, Mount Sinai, of course, here in the vortices of Sedona, Arizona, across the Mayan lands, and at many Native American power sites. She's actually traveled with John Major Jenkins to several Mayan temples and toured with Jose Arguelles throughout Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala. So, yeah, she's very well known for her ability to create sound frequencies, at these sacred sites. And she also specializes in using these sound frequencies for healing. So
Well,
she's
I
incredibly gifted, talented in many ways.
I listened to some of her stuff that she has on YouTube today, and I loved it. I thought it was great, very well produced, very nice sounding, very original sounding, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's a good meditation music. It's good background music for your house if you're just trying to put something on to create some atmosphere in your house to kind of create that spirit of connectedness and communion. I liked it. I'm a big fan already.
Yeah, I mean, the production is of the highest quality for sure. She, for more than 2 decades, has recorded and toured with national and international artists on major labels like CBS, Atlantic Records, A&M Records. So, she does a very professional job with her uh, her CDs, and has made some DVDs as well. She does chakra toning and has a couple of DVDs for that. And then also, to make it even more fascinating, she has been in Sedona, I'm guessing, about 2 decades. And she has gone out into these red rock temples and identified many Egyptian style sphinxes.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
I think she's tracked like, a dozen sphinx like looking red rocks out here.
Wow, they may have been, because the original Sphinx in Egypt, not a few archaeologists have determined that particular structure is way older than the pyramids. It may be as old as 13,000 years old, and it
Mm-hmm.
exhibits water erosion on it. That's how old it is. That maybe even predates the Sahara Desert itself. But Sedona, first of all, it's a different kind of rock. Second of all, there's a whole lot more weather in the Sedona area. So if there was a sphinx in the Sedona area, it would not weather very well at all. It would just be a remnant of what it once was.
You would be really shocked at how much some of these rock formations look like the Sphinx. In fact, I did a episode of Supernatural Sedona called Contact in Sedona, and it stars Deborah Thunderbeat, and we're standing right in front of the major sphinx that she found out in Long Canyon, and one of my graphic artist friends overlaid the sphinx itself just to show how much it looks like the sphinx, and it's really
Wow.
quite shocking. And of course, she also tunes into these rock beings. And so it's not just that they look like it, she has a real sense about these things, and very connected into Egypt and into Sedona, and has also identified some amazing rock statues that look an awful lot like, some of the Egyptian pantheon. And she'll tell you more about it. She produced a whole DVD film called Egypt in Sedona, and it is worth watching. And you can, check it out on her website, thunderbeat.com, where you
Right.
can also find her CDs and other DVDs. But yeah, she's incredibly talented. And oh, yeah, so she does DNA activations, right? So I had just moved to Sedona back in 2015 and right away integrated with the spiritual community and going out on the Red Rocks, and they're telling me about these Red Rock temples and these statues. And I'm going, yeah, not really seeing it. And so Deborah says, well, you got to come and have a 22 DNA activation from me. Okay. So go over to her house. She does this remarkable DNA activations. And as she's going down my spine, she's telling me about childhood experiences that I'm still holding on to. Like I had this really bad bicycle accident when I was like 8 years old and knocked out my teeth. And anyways, so she was like, oh, when you were 8 years old, you had a bike accident. I was like, you're kidding me. How do you know these things? But she went down my spine and was able to, identify memories I was holding on to and then release them. At the same time, she was doing this dormant DNA activation. And afterwards, I left her house in West Sedona and drove home to my house in Rimrock. And as soon as I hit the Red Rocks, it all became perfectly clear
Oh, so your
that
eyes
these
were
Red
open
Rocks were
then.
temples,
Yeah.
statues.
Your eyes were open then. You could see things you couldn't see before.
Absolutely, Brooks. I'm telling you, I'm surprised I didn't drive off the road. And so, here's what I think, and I'm not the only one, of course, but that, these crystal temples, because right underneath the red iron ore is quartz crystal, and geologists have come out and confirmed that. Um, I believe they're just covered with that iron ore because they were once submerged, and it's like rust. And once they were exposed, you have rust covered crystal, temples. In any case, they're, red rock formations that are quartz crystal covered with iron ore.
Now
So,
she's gonna be at the Beyond the Matrix Expo. She's gonna perform, and is she gonna be in the beginning so that we can have our eyes open before we start all this wonderful higher learning?
yes, well, all of the presenters at Beyond the Matrix will be offering activations, transmissions, initiations in order to open our third eye and also our crown chakra. So, they'll all be offering that. But yes, Deborah will be presenting, performing, and doing an activation at the Beyond the Matrix event. So, everyone can go to beyondthematrix.tv and check it out. And they can purchase their tickets and enter the code Brooks25 for a 25% discount.
Wow!
Our special through March 1st.
You still have a 2-for-1 thing going till March 1st too, don't you?
Thank you for mentioning that. You can just enter Equinox 241 if you want 2-day passes for the price of one.
That's pretty
Yes.
awesome. You could bring a friend to that. You could make a friend something else. Looks like Deborah has joined us. Let me go ahead and unmute her. Deborah, are you there?
Yay.
Yes. Hello.
Wow, this is great. Awesome. Of course, we were talking
Hi,
about
Deborah.
Hi, Suzanne. Fun.
We were talking about you.
Yeah.
And we decided that everybody should go first at Sedona.
Everyone does go first. It's just at a different timeline.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Different timelines all across.
Time means nothing here. This is a big time warp.
Right.
So I had a chance to listen to some of your things that are available on YouTube today. And the first chance I get, maybe after I get off the program tonight, I'm going to order some of your CDs because I really like that stuff. I really like the the chakra toning. I like the atmosphere music that you do, and I listen to atmosphere. It's one of my favorite genres of music. But I have to be honest, I kind of thumb through a lot of it because it's not really art. It's more like a compilation. Yours is art, and I really enjoy it.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, every CD is totally different. It's usually from my sacred site travels, to the sacred lands like Egypt or Mayan lands or, either the Native American sacred grounds. And I come back and I write a CD. It comes just right through me, and I totally enjoy it. And I remember a record company wanted to sign me, and I told them about every CD I do is totally different. They said, well, maybe we can change your name for each CD. And I said, what? They said, we have to keep the same genre, style if you're going to be doing, to keep your, the one name. And I'm like, what? So, that's the way they market things. And I said, no. So I just decided just to completely go independent.
Well, I like
on that. So
I
can
also,
so I could do what I want to do.
I also saw some of the YouTubes where you are playing with another musician, like a guitarist or other instruments, and I love those jam sessions. They're very creative. I like that a lot.
Yeah, you never know where they're going to go.
And that's really the way music used to be. We used to have these spirit drumming. We would all get around the fire, and there'd be like all kinds of different drums and tambourines, and we all have the percussion ability of a bull in a china shop. But the strange thing happens after about 5 or 6 minutes of just randomly beating on stuff. A rhythm will start to come out of it, and then you start getting into it, and it's a very spiritual experience to join into all that.
Right. It is. It's like a meditation, like the drum circles. Like you get into this meditative state of that repetitive beat, and it brings you into a whole different, like I said, a whole different dimensional state. But I've been playing drums since I was 15 years old. I played full drum set, which I didn't talk about for a long time. When I went solo, I went into more of a spiritual realm and sound healing, which I became actually the #1 sound healer on Hemi-Sync with Monroe Institute for 7 years in a row with a lot of my activational music. Anyway, but I played in rock bands. Check this out. I played in rock bands for 27 years, full drum set.
I like it. I mean, I tell people this sometimes, that when I was young, I went to see, against the advice of the church, I went to see Jesus Christ Superstar. I mean, the church was like, oh, it's blasphemous, you shouldn't go see it, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I liked it. To me, it was the same message to a different rhythm. And so,
right,
of all the genres of music, although I got to say country music has in some respects caught up quite a bit, but rock music is really the most expressive. It's the most raw, emotional, things being said with the music. It's not just lyrics like rapping or, even country music. The music is more the language. And I really like that about rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I played in all different kinds of bands. My favorite band I was into progressive rock. And I write lyrics, and it's all about, wake up call for the world and messages for the world, which was great. And it was wonderful. So, but now I do just more like activational music, tribal, with the drumming, tribal activation, and I have won many awards for my music. I work very hard at it, as in, it's my life, so it's 24/7 in my heart, you could say.
I'll bet your house is really cool.
Yeah, and they're pretty spontaneous too. I mean, I just write them. I don't really even write them. I just, just kind of do a basic set list of, okay, drums start this song, guitar starts this song, vocals start this song. It's really very free form, and it works out every time beautifully. Yeah.
Very cool. We're going to go to break here in about 1 minute, but I want you both to stay through the break, and I think Suzanne has to go. She has family over, and evidently they're snowed in, and there's, they want to spend, she wants to spend time with them instead of us, so she'll go.
I'll be on for 15 minutes, my dear. Thank you.
Okay. That's fine with
me.
She
is a busy girl, too. Go ahead.
We'll take a break in about 45 seconds, and then it's about 3 minutes long. I'm on YouTube Live. Your pictures are on YouTube, but not your video, so it's okay if you're just sitting around the house. We're having a good time, and several thousand of my friends are out there listening, and they're in the chat room, so I'll relay some of their questions to you when we get back after the break. My guests, of course, Suzanne Ross, the organizer of the Beyond the Matrix event that's going to take place 19th and 20th of March, and Deborah Thunderbeat. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.